I'm angry that Geordi's family is being wasted by Star Trek's lack of new shows. Star Trek has always been a universe of potential. Its vastness isn't measured just in star systems, but in the endless possibilities of storytelling. We have boldly gone where no one has gone before, and yet, for all the exploration of strange new worlds, of moral dilemmas, of the infinite, there's one corner of this universe that has been stubbornly neglected: the personal lives of certain characters. One of the most glaring examples, Geordi LaForge and his family. Geordi is, for many fans, a symbol of the best of the next generation. He's brilliant, compassionate, and endlessly resourceful, embodying the Starfleet ideal that intellect and empathy can solve even the most intractable problems. But behind the visor, behind the engineering genius, is a man whose personal life, his family, has been almost entirely ignored. And I'm angry about it. Let's be clear. This isn't just a gripe about missing episodes or unfinished storylines. This is about Star Trek's systematic neglect of one of its most relatable human elements, family. It's about the show's failure to expand the narrative universe beyond the bridge and the sickbay into the homes, childhoods, and relationships of characters who deserve it. And for Geordi, this neglect has been particularly egregious. Geordi LaForge, a life half-lived on screen, from his earliest appearances in Star Trek The Next Generation, Geordi's life has always been a paradox of visibility and invisibility. We see him on the bridge, overseeing the engineering department, leading away crises that threaten the ship, the crew, and sometimes the galaxy. We see his professional triumphs, his inventive genius, and his friendships. But what we don't see is what grounds him: his family. We know from bits of canon that Geordi had a family, though the details are often vague. For instance, in various interviews and expanded universe materials, we learn that Geordi's mother, Sylva LaForge, played a critical role in his upbringing. She raised him with love and rigor, supporting his ambitions despite the limitations of his blindness. We know he had children in the extended canon, but on screen, they are almost entirely absent. Compare this to characters like Worf or Picard, whose families, whether on screen or in the broader Star Trek canon, have been explored in depth. Worf's family history, the loss of his parents, his adoptive life, his children, and his political entanglements with the Klingon Empire all enrich his story, adding layers to his decisions and struggles. Picard's family and early life, though occasionally tragic, are at least explored episodically, giving us a sense of how they shaped his worldview. But Geordi? His story outside of the Enterprise is barely sketched. It's infuriating because Geordi's family would have offered rich narrative possibilities. Imagine a show that delved into the dynamics between him and his mother, exploring how a blind man navigates the universe with love and guidance from a mother who knew both his vulnerabilities and his brilliance. Imagine exploring Geordi as a father, mentoring his children, facing generational conflicts in the context of futuristic ideals of equality, ethics, and responsibility. Star Trek loves moral dilemmas, yet it neglects the very personal, human dilemmas that are right under its nose. The lost potential of Geordi's children. One of the most frustrating aspects of this neglect is the almost total erasure of Geordi's children. In expanded universe materials, novels, comics, and fan speculation, we know that Geordi eventually has a family. But in the shows themselves, there's almost nothing. This is not just a missed character development opportunity. It's a missed cultural moment. Star Trek has always been about representation, not just of alien species, but of human experiences. Geordi, a black man with a disability, raising children in Starfleet or in a futuristic society, could have been a powerful narrative lens. His children could explore their father's legacy, the pressure of genius, the ethics of exploration, the responsibility to carry forward Starfleet ideals. The stories could have examined intergenerational challenges, inclusion, accessibility, and the nuanced intersection of race, disability, and family in a futuristic world. Yet, instead, these threads are abandoned, referenced only in passing, if at all. Why Star Trek keeps missing these stories? The anger isn't just personal. It's systemic. Why does Star Trek keep ignoring these family stories? There are several intertwined reasons. First, there's the focus on adventure over domestic life. Star Trek loves its space battles, its diplomacy, its first contacts. That's understandable. Sci-fi thrives on spectacle, but it also means the quiet, emotional, domestic stories get crowded out. Geordi's family, being a personal story rather than a galactic threat, has been sidelined as a less urgent narrative. Second, there's the legacy problem. Star Trek has a massive, fragmented canon. New shows often focus on returning fan favorite faces or entirely new crews. There's little incentive to revisit the mundane details of a character's personal life, even when it could yield storytelling gold. The series seems to assume that viewers want action and adventure rather than emotional depth. This assumption is wrong. Emotional resonance is what makes Star Trek endure. Third, there's the uncomfortable truth that Star Trek has historically struggled to fully integrate diverse family experiences. While shows like Deep Space Nine and Voyager tried to broaden this, they often still kept core family units on the periphery. Geordi's family, being Black and representing multiple layers of complexity, disability, genius, interstellar career, would have required a thoughtful exploration that the shows historically weren't willing to invest in. What could have been? If Star Trek had taken Geordi's family seriously, imagine the possibilities. A series, call it Star Trek, La Forge, could have explored Geordi navigating fatherhood while commanding critical engineering projects, ethical dilemmas arising from his children joining Starfleet, confronting his legacy, or making risky decisions. Episodes where Geordi's mother visits the Enterprise, forcing him to reconcile his personal and professional responsibilities. Interactions with other families aboard the Enterprise, such as Data's pursuit of understanding human relationships or Worf's struggles with family loyalty. Crossovers with other series, like Picard or Strange New Worlds, where Geordi's children play critical roles in diplomatic or scientific crises. Such a series wouldn't just expand Star Trek's universe, it would enrich it. It would humanize the often mythic figures of Starfleet, showing us that the future isn't just about starships and alien politics. It's about love, legacy, and family. The frustration of waiting. What makes this neglect so maddening is that Star Trek can get it right. Shows like Star Trek, Picard have begun exploring the personal lives of characters in ways TNG never did. We see Picard in his retirement, confronting loneliness, regret, and lost opportunities. We see Worf grappling with fatherhood in ways that are emotionally honest and complex. Yet Geordi, arguably one of the most beloved and human characters of TNG, remains largely absent from this wave of narrative exploration. Fans have been waiting decades to see Geordi's family fully realized. They've been given tantalizing hints and throwaway lines, but no substantive storylines. And with each new show that fails to address this, each focus on new crews, new ships, and new threats, the sense of squandered potential grows. It's not just a missed opportunity. It feels like a betrayal of the character's depth. Why this matters beyond Geordi. The neglect of Geordi's family isn't just about one character. It's emblematic of a larger problem in science fiction storytelling. Too often, sci-fi prioritizes spectacle over intimacy. It's easier to show a ship under attack than a father struggling with a child who doesn't understand his choices. Yet it's these human stories that give sci-fi its lasting power. Geordi's family could serve as a lens for broader societal questions. How do we,